Hey, what's up guys, I'm Zebulus, and just before we get into the build video, I want to highlight this clip because I think it demonstrates pretty well how the full combo of the build is going to hit people. So as you can see, this is a stamina Dragon Knight, max level and 36k health, full health. So like this is a tank, okay? He has a lot of health, he's high level, probably has good CP. This is in a CP campaign, so yeah. And even with all these defensives, he's still one-shottable, so I'm going to demonstrate that. Now, one thing that fucked up here is that we're not in cloak. I got hit by some AoE damage, so we're not in cloak. But even without the cloak damage, like without the extra damage that it gives us, this guy with all of his resistances and his 36k health cannot survive our burst. So the first hit right there did 26k damage. So like in one hit, we get all those sticks of damage. This would have one-shotted almost anyone else. Just because he's a tank with so much health, he survived. And then a light attack into an in-cap and he's fucking gone. He's dead. Now, if I had been in cloak, if my cloak didn't break right there, he would have gotten stunned by the surprise attack right there. But yeah, our cloak broke, but we got him anyway, so whatever. So let's just get into the build. I wanted to highlight this clip because it demonstrates really well the potential of this build. So guys, first, the abilities that we're running. We are running Shadow Image. This is going to make you be able to kite really well open world. Which is going to be important on this build because it's quite squishy. Then we have Surprise Attack. It's part of our combo. Really good. It's going to stun and it's going to set them off balance. It's going to do a lot of damage. Really good skill. Then we have Piercing Mark. This is going to reduce the resistances of tankier targets. Like if you have a stupid tank that doesn't block or another Nightblade, this is going to keep them from stealthing, so that's really good against other Nightblades. Then we also have Camo Hunter for the crit, and the Minor Berserk, which is going to increase our damage done by 8% when we do crit damage from an enemy's flank. So that's important to remember that we have that on our bar, so that you can get the Minor Berserk buff. Then we have Rally. This is a major brutality buff and a burst heal. Also increases your stamina recovery, so it's pretty good. Incap, which can fit into your combo sometimes. Yeah, it's pretty good, of course. And it doesn't cost much, so yeah, you can kinda spam it. Like you get one kill, then you get some ultimates back from the Alliance War passives. This one, when you kill an enemy player, you get 20 ults, so you get it up pretty frequently, and you also got the Catalyst passive as a Nightblade. When you drink a potion, you get 20 ultimate, so yeah, that works pretty well. Then we have Leeching Strikes. This is going to simply increase your stamina regen, like your stamina sustain, because the regen we're having is pretty low. Yet our sustain is pretty good. I will explain what other sources of stamina we can have. Then we have Crushing Weapon. This is from the Sijic skill line. It's gonna be part of the combo. I will explain how it works, but like you just cast it and basically your next light attack will do an extra 7k damage. Actually it's going to be 8.5k physical damage, and it's also gonna heal you, so it's pretty good. And if you don't use it, like if the power is not consumed, you will restore some stamina, so it will refund basically. Race Against Time. This is another Sijic skill. This one costs stamina. It's here to give you the major expedition and the minor force. You don't really care about the snare removal it gives, but um, the major expedition and minor force are really good. It's gonna increase your speed in cloak. That's gonna be really useful. You're gonna be able to cloak quite fast around people, and we actually have pretty decent magicka sustain on this, so yeah. And the minor force, increasing your critical damage, will basically increase the damage of your burst, of your one shot. So it's really good to have for this kind of build. Then vigor for the heal. Obviously, this is just a heal. Now we have cloak. Obviously, the morph that cloaks you and makes you invisible and makes your next direct damage attack crit. This is really important because it's gonna combo with surprise attack. I will explain how this is all going to work later. And then we have undo. I don't have it morph, but you would want the morph that gives you the minor protection. So yeah, that's for the skills. Now for the gear. So we are running Valley Dress. I'm running 6 medium and 1 heavy, full stamina enchants, 6 impen traits and 1 well fitted. So we have Valley Dress. It's 20% chance when you deal damage, and in our combo we're gonna have a lot of ticks of damage, so this actually procs pretty often. And it's just here to make the difference when you gank a tankier target. This is what's gonna allow you to gank tankier targets or just better players. So then we have Hunting's Rage. So 5 pieces on the body. Again, it's 6 impen, 1 well fitted, 6 medium, 1 heavy. Okay, guys? I don't have the undaunted passives, by the way, so if you have them, your stats will look a little bit better. So this gives us a lot of crit and a lot of weapon damage and some maximum stamina. This is really good for, you know, increasing your damage in general. And then we have another really good set, the Spriggan set on the front bar only. So this is 3 jewelries, all infused and all weapon damage enchanted. This gives you really good damage. And yeah, really good maximum stamina and penetration. Then we have a sword. You could use a mace here. Just don't use an axe. You don't really care about the bleed. It's more about the burst in this kind of build. So yeah, just either a mace or a sword sharpened with a double dot poison here. And on the back bar, I'm actually using a bow of Red Mountain. It's infused with a disease damage enchant. This is actually going to um, like scale in our burst. It's going to add up in our burst with that enchant. Potions now, just go tripods, yeah. Tripods all the way. You don't need the crit, you have it on your front bar, so just go with tripods. That's the best thing to do. And for the food, I'm actually using the Try Recovery drink. This gives me good magicka recovery, good health recovery, good stamina recovery. And the tripod is actually going to make those even higher. And this is our fully buffed recovery. So yeah, 1.7k almost magicka recovery. Same with stamina recovery and 1k health recovery. That's really good. Now there's another option if you want to go for even more damage, which is totally possible to do, but you're gonna have less magicka sustain. You can go with the lava foot soup. This is gonna give you 5k max stam and 500 stamina recovery. So these are the stats that you would get. And these are the tooltips of surprise attack and of incap. So yeah, 18k incap, pretty damn good. Now the CP, and then I will explain the combo. Oh, actually, let me do, yeah, the attributes. So we have 64 in stamina. Here are the stats. The Atronak Mundus, you need Magicka Recovery to be able to crit, to cloak. And yeah, that's it. We have almost 3k crit resist, so we're kinda tanky, but not so much because of the health. Doesn't really matter in this kind of build. So first we have 56 into tumbling, reduce the cost of roll dodge. You're gonna need to roll dodge when people catch you. Shade, reduce the cost of sneak because we're gonna be sneaking around. 43 in Arcanist, Magicka Recovery to be able to cloak. Mooncalf, Stamina Recovery, of course. Nothing over there, doesn't really matter. Then we have 9 and 9 in Sprinter and Bashing Focus. You're gonna bash in your burst and you're gonna sprint sometimes to get away, so these are pretty good. Then 56 into Warlord for Break Free, of course. It's quite expensive, so just reduce the cost of it. This is gonna increase your sustain. 32 into Quick Recovery, for healing. 43, 37, 40. Then that puts us to 120 in this tree to get the Enchained passive to increase your sustain again. Then we have 62 into Resistant. Good crit resist on this build, so that's pretty nice. It prevents one-shots. Ironclad, reduce the direct damage, 56 points. Again, preventing one-shots, so pretty good. Then on this tree we have 56 into Mighty, 38 into Piercing for penetration, 56 into Precise Strikes. Nothing into Thaumaturge, doesn't really matter in this kind of build. We're looking for the burst for the direct damage. That's why we have 81 into Master at Arms. Yeah, that's pretty good for instant damage. And then we have 39 into Physical Weapon Expert. So that puts us to 120 in the Atronak, which means we get to have the Tactician passive. When you roll dodge, you set the enemy off balance, and I will explain how this can, this makes you have another way of one-shotting people when you're in an actual fight and not in cloak. Like in a duel, for example. I'll show you how this works. So what you want to do now to one-shot people is you want to get behind them, because when you crit from an enemy's flanks, you're gonna get 8% extra damage, so that's, really good. Gonna add up into the burst. You want to use your rally buff and Leeching Strikes, but it doesn't really matter. Like, you want to rally, then race against time, because this gives you 10% extra damage on your crits. So like so, rally, race against time. Then you're kinda faster, so you cloak. You're gonna do a crushing weapon, light attack, bar swap quickly, and do a surprise attack. And somehow when you do this, look. Somehow, when you bar swap cancel this light attack, the surprise attack is actually going to hit first. So it's actually going to stun your target because you were in cloak. And then after that you can do another light attack, or like light attack, surprise attack, or light attack in cap to try to finish them off. But that combo already does a lot of damage. And you can also bash people. You see my Velidreth didn't proc in time there, but a lot of the time it will proc in time. And then if you have a tankier target, you can just do the same but put mark on them. Like so. There you see my Velidreth actually procced on the right time. So yeah, that's a lot of damage, as you saw in the clip at the beginning of the video. Now when you're in a duel, there's another way to one-shot. Like if someone doesn't let you cloak and you really want to stun them and one-shot them, of course if you're in a duel you can put your mark on them. If they already see you, that doesn't matter. You can put your shade to reduce the damage they deal. And what you're going to want to do is buff with rally, then buff with race against time to get the crit bonus. Then you're gonna roll dodge, set them off balance with the tactician passive, fully charge heavy attack with the bow, and then bar swap cancel with an ink cap. That's going to stun them, deal a lot of damage, and pretty much one-shot them. So just showing that. Raw dodge, fully charge heavy, and yeah, I did a surprise attack there, but you could do with ink cap, it would hit a lot harder. So I think I've covered everything, guys. That's the build. It's pretty damn strong. It one-shots almost anyone, even tanks in PvP, so that's pretty crazy. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and enjoy the build, guys. I will see you in the next one. Peace.